Hello YouTube and welcome back to my Frieren Beyond Journey's End reaction series. Today we're reacting to episode 7 of the show. Looking forward to watching it here today, I guess. Last week we kind of closed loop, in my opinion, on a lot of the Stark setup about him and the village and the dragon, and now we have a motivation with Eisen to move forward. And yeah, we're going to see where we go from here. I believed last week was a really good stopping point because we didn't know what was going to happen next, and I still am in agreement with myself from last week. So I really don't know what we're doing. I guess this is housekeeping. Somebody on Discord, there's been some whispers, I guess you would say, that 7 and 8 should go together, and that 9 and 10 should definitely go together. So 9 and 10, doable. 7 and 8, hell no, not doable. I feel terrible today, if I'm honest. But we've got to get something out there, so we're going to try. We're trying our best. But yeah, needless to say, this will be 7, and if it's a little bit on the shorter side, that's just how it's going to be for today, unfortunately. Yeah, part of the reason why Katanagatari didn't happen this week as well, unfortunately. Yeah, just trying to get some content out there, that's all it's about, really. Either way, I got some YouTube comments here. Salo Carnal, first comment here. I think there was also a joke with the parfait Stark went to offer. The shopkeeper says it looks smaller because Stark has grown, which works thematically, but it might actually just be smaller because, you know, the shopkeeper's doing shopkeeper stuff where we're going to reduce the portion and make money off of that. So yeah, I guess the order of operations there is like, this thing seems smaller, and then it's like, yeah, it does seem smaller because you have grown into a big man. It's like, well, no, actually, it might just be smaller, and he kind of double takes it a little bit. I thought that was pretty good on a rewatch there. Shinsasu, just with a couple new translations here. Stark means strong. I didn't know that one, so now I know that one. Okay, that's why it's a name for so many different people along the journey. Yeah, it's pretty basic now that you think about it. And Einsim, I believe this was the name of the monster, meaning lonely. So yeah, the thing about the Einsim, I think we talk about it up here a little bit more. Specifically, it kind of turns into the person which you care about the most. The trick there, which I kind of alluded to but didn't specifically say, for Frieren, is that it moved away from her master Flam and it's moved towards Himmel. So it shows a level of care there which has changed over time, right? She's got a new favorite, essentially. That's what we're getting out of the scene from a Frieren backstory perspective. It also implies that at one point, Flem was the most important person to Frieren. There you go. Okay. A little bit of lore there for the boys. Apparently, a lot of the towns and stuff also have German names, which I've noticed, but none of them are particularly interesting yet. Next comment here from Black Rose's Thorn. Honestly, Stark is what completely sealed the deal for me. He's not my favorite character. I like Frieren and Fern more, but like you said, in a lot of anime, a character like Stark has the potential to be kind of annoying for basically no reason. I find he's very likable and charming, though, and stays that way. This entire show is very likable and charming, and I too think that he and Fern would be pretty cute. Lol, which I'm definitely in agreement with. Yeah, but the jury's still out for me on Stark. He's not the character that I thought he was, put it that way. But also, I don't think he's much beyond that yet. I like his motivation. I want to see some character to him. I want to see some more interactions before I pass judgment. But for right now, yeah, 2 thumbs up. He's not Demon Slayer guy who I find annoying. So so plus points for that. And the last comment here today, the longest comment here today from Airwave 2K2. One of the best but short things in this episode for me is Eisen commenting on the mere 10-year journey ahead and saying 1/100th, huh? And a bit later in the flashback of the hero's party asking Frieren about taking on an apprentice, and then it says 1/100th of a lifetime, right? Yeah, there's certainly a bit of an I told you so tone to the whole thing, right? I told you should do something like this. This would be good for you. You could almost imply that there was some collusion between Eisen and Haita to make Frieren get an apprentice, right? You know, not specifically. It kind of unfolded that way, right? Where it's like, shit, I'm probably gonna die soon, right? Here's this little girl that I've saved. It's not specifically for this purpose, but we can mend it into this purpose, as we saw in that one scene they do right with each other, that being Eisen and Haita. Or did right with each other, I should say. I thought you would pick up on the moment about the Eisen Phantoms. Yeah, the people that is most dear to somebody, right? So Fern's being Haita, that makes sense, even above her own family. I mean, she was very young when she got adopted, essentially, right? If you could even call it that. But yeah, as we've talked about before, the Flem Himmel connection stuff, right? Yeah, I was kind of completely wrong about the axe. So yeah, it's not the system of the magic, I guess, that I guess it was. It's not based on the weapon. It's based a little bit more on the power you imbue into it. So I'm guessing the staves or staves, I guess you would say, that Frieren and Fern have are not special staves, right? Staves, as I've made that mistake twice now. They're just normal, and then they've got a lot of magical energy. They put it into that, as opposed to something that is powerful, and you get it, and it is powerful because it is an artifact that is powerful. I don't know, yeah. So yeah, again, I was thinking axe powerful, Stark just rely on axe. He thinks he does, but in reality, it's who wields the thing. Again, this was a lot of me just predicting stuff. So yeah, I was incorrect because I was uninformed about Stark's cowardness. We're in Regal Valley, Regal Valley. This means in English a latch or some item meant to block something like a door or a path. So you could imply that we're opening up to Stark's opening up to us from that, I guess. Also, apparently there's the Willy region, like a Willy, like groundskeeper. Anyway, volition, everything else in between. If we're progressing past that, then that it also informs the characters' journeys, much like, again, we've kind of gone into this naming convention stuff a little bit already, but I like the German twist to it. Normally you get the Japanese side of it. For episode 6, that was a nice synopsis you made there for the characters. Seeing your predictions that don't always pan out, or do moving forward, is interesting with foreknowledge. That's the premise of the channel. That's what makes this interesting. Everybody else kind of knows what's going to happen, but I'm none the wiser. Again, I really like that dynamic for sure. And then I guess we're talking last here about the city of Wall, which is different from Willy, which is different from whatever. You know what I mean? And wall means wall. So we're going to say wall. In German, it means a barrier. I mean, yeah, it also means a barrier in English, kind of. I don't know, less specific than that, I guess. But yeah, we've literally crossed the wall. We're into the wilds or whatever, right? We're out of civilization as we know it. Now we're going to see what unfolds next. And yeah, speaking of, again, episode downloaded in the time that I was speaking there, so we're going to jump into episode 7 very shortly. But some chill stuff. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord, join Discord, love Discord. And yeah, we're jumping into episode 7 of Frieren Beyond Journey's End right now. Radio episode is up there, ready to go. 24 minutes and 30 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly. Picture-in-picture, subs please, subset, Crunchyroll, whatever. And yeah, we're just going to give it a 3, 2, 1 and jump in. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Is this the past? Yes. As we learned before, true. But of course you would be able to verify the best imitation. Founder of humanity's magic. Well, I mean, you definitely know. Or that it's passed into legend, I guess. Okay. And now we're back in present day, you would think. Yeah, there's Fern. Okay, what are you two doing? You don't understand. You haven't traveled with her for years. So she does it again. She's like a small animal or something. I feel like one party's less enthused about this than the other one. They're really pushing this this Fern mom angle, which is fine. It's a pretty good joke. But they love it. They love pressing that button. It's a good button, don't get me wrong. Yeah, so broad setup about Flam is the only real thing we see so far. Again, interesting understanding of passage of time and stuff, right? Because, like, I don't know, probably stuff that people perceived as important 1,000 years ago to me now has passed into legend, right? Has passed into whispers. Nobody really knows what happened. It's all hearsay. It's interesting to see similar things playing out here. Especially in a world that isn't technologically advanced at all. It's very hard to record information like that, right? Yep, there she is. Hey, there's Evil Girl. Wait, why did we lose subtitles? Anyway, whatever, it's fine. I'll get over it. Like a fairy tale. Hopefully not too much like fairy tale. If you catch my drift. Okay. Hello, man. Alright, we're still doing odd jobs. Like how they've got magic and then we've got, Stark out here with the shovel. But that doesn't keep it safe for everybody else. Yeah. Well, you probably thought the same thing. Fern's the only one thinking about this stuff. But that water would be good too. Fighting demons. Okay. Can we gleam anything? Okay, very official. Stark Sum is interesting too. Yeah. Just call me Stark. But yes, probably just straight up Stark is rude. I don't care. No, we're kind of bonding or something. Very similar to their joke in episode 6 about the small penis. Okay. Are they somewhat rare? I did remark on that before. Yeah, that exact point. That's what I was about to say. Okay. Okay. That almost looked like the house where you were trained, maybe. That would connect to the phlegm stuff. Liberation Festival. Oh, yeah, he looks cool. Is that true? Okay. They got statues everywhere, man. Hmm. Indeed. Forevermore they will remember. Because of tradition and ceremony. Loves this. Looks like a terrible statue. But Himmel loves a statue. Yeah, he does. Yeah, I'm fucking dead. Aww. But the statue isn't real. Yeah. Much like Flam, who was brought up before. Yeah, the statues look kind of derpy. Does he know? Am I stupid? Yeah. Frieren sama. Thousands a long time. Not many things that were going 1,000 years ago are still going. But going to the north, to Oriole. Oriole. Oh, let's go to heaven. I'm finding it hard to believe. Alright, where some graphs domain or something? It's a very specific name. Seems like there's somewhat of a military presence. That's a really weird looking shot, but it looks kind of cool. Thoughts? Uh. Oh! Didn't expect it. Okay, sure. That's my instinct. You don't get it. Oh yeah, these guys are in the opening. Okay, that's Graf Gannet. Lugner? Yeah. Do you want to talk to me about it? I've killed lots of demons. I've got no idea. Hmm. Is that a racism? We don't know. It's going to be an interesting one. We're going to explore it. Yeah, put her in prison. No, we need her. Fern, unconcerned, unfazed. Stop. Hey, thoughts? Reflect on your actions. Some kind of demon state? Aura the guillotine. Oh, okay. Is she opening girl? It's very specific. 28 years ago is also how long Himmel was, right? Well, very close. Okay. They seemed capable of speech is pretty big thing. Hmm. Don't know why. Oh my god. Yeah, murder the child. Let's go. I feel like Frieren's about to do some child murder. Yep. It's time to go. Oh, he said the moral. Alright. Is this guy about to get murdered too? Yeah, it's a big thing. I don't think it went well. Did it go well? Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. I feel like it's going to go poorly here at some point. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Oh, okay. So, all right, all right. So that connects back to the rest of the episode. No, that's not how that works. Not anymore. You don't understand. I'm Himmel the hero. Well, that's a complicated one. I think that's a little bit too far. Well, that's less complicated now. Well, yeah, you don't need this part. That part was implied by this. Yeah, anyway. I mean, I'd be very surprised if the moral of the story is be racist. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Don't be fantasy racist, everybody. Or real racist for that matter. How do you know her face? I'm very confused. If the message is going the way I think it's going, I don't think I like the message. But we're gonna see. Okay. Do you want to talk about that a little bit more? How about where is he now? Don't care. Well, I don't think that's going to go well either. But think about the rest of the episode. Yeah, see, he's saying it. Hmm. Nah, you're Gonski now, bro. You fell for it. It's kind of like mom. It's kind of like mom. It's a word we use to deceive. Well, yeah, that doesn't seem good. There she is. Yeah, okay, cool. I think that means the other two. I think that means Fern Stark. Oh, or just Frieren. That works too. Drato Dono. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, it's time to murder Frieren. Oh, okay. Probably. I mean, you defeated her. I'm intrigued. If not yet, I don't think the overall goal of the story, a story so much about empathy, is to make one race that is entirely, unsympathetic, right? An entire group of people, right? Or demons, whatever you that cannot be reasoned with and are always just going to kill people and use whatever method they can to kill people. Just don't think that's Frieren's vibe as a show. So, even if not now, I think there will be somewhere along the journey we meet some demons that are actually okay. I think my mistake is thinking that might be now. Right? I think somewhere along the journey this will happen. And then we'll do that whole moral. I think that's where I'm landing on it. And for the record, when I say racist, I don't mean like actual racist. You know what I mean. Fantasy racist. It's fantasy, it's fine. Good old-fashioned fantasy racism. I wonder if she just straight up murders this guy too. That'll be interesting. Cool. Yeah, a little bit more discussion on episode 7 upcoming. Okay, so yeah, like I said in the ED, that's pretty much my stance on it right now, is that I don't think this will be the overall message when looking macro back on the show once it's done, or when the story itself is completed, or basically whatever in between. I don't think the message will be always distrust demons. I don't think that's going to be the message there. Again, Frieren is so much about hope. It's so much about it's not a horror movie. Right? It's not meant to, it's not a thriller. It's not meant to invoke these kind of feelings. It's meant to be, kind of warm and fuzzy and sweeping and beautiful and stuff. So if this is what they're going for, it's a tonal shift. I don't know if it's successful yet, but again, I've only seen one episode into it. I kind of did think that the end of episode 6 was the indicator of like a change coming, right? Where, hey, we're passing this barrier, we're passing this wall, we're going to do something different. And yeah, I'm unsure about what that difference is yet and how drastic it will be. But yeah, again, I'm sticking to my guns on this one. Either way, I should talk about the title of the episode, Like a Fairy Tale, and all about things passing into legend and the kind of preservation of those things and codification and all these funny little history words, right? About what passes into that and what doesn't and what becomes folklore and everywhere else in between. This is also probably in context with Frieren and her perception to Aura, I think we're implying her name is Aura, that demon. Because to the knowledge of these demons here, they've probably never known a world where she didn't exist. Maybe she reincarnated. Again, I'm thinking it's suspiciously close timeline-wise to when Himmel died. Did Himmel do some kind of weird spell or something that stopped this person from existing, and then they, reincarnated or something when he died? I don't know, that's a theory. No, but it's interesting that the death of Aura and the slaying of Aura by the hands of Frieren is probably passed into legend, is probably not something that's recounted upon in demon communities, right? Thus, we're probably going to be met with a reaction at the start of the next episode, something akin to, you jest, she's still alive, blah, 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 and then a bit more backstory into that, you'd think. It's very obvious that this guy's got no chance against Frieren. The only drama there will be if that guy survives, right? Again, the show's called Frieren. Of course, she's not going to die, at least yet. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if she gets him cornered, will she murder? That's going to be the next step. I think Fern would have an interesting perspective on this, coming from a warring nation as well. Probably even relating to, there was some themes of being an orphan in that little story that Frieren told as well. So what angle is she coming at this at? What was that war in the South about? Gonna have to see. Stark, likewise, Stark has a bit of a setup with his backstory about him running away, a little bit more cowardice. Will that impact? We'll see. Needless to say, I'm intrigued. I want to see what's going on. I think we're taking an interesting stance initially. It's not baby's first analogy. We're being a little bit more smart about it. I like how evil these demons are. And I said in the moment, I said, I'm not quite sure I like this. But then I thought about it a little bit more macro. I'm like, oh, this is probably a setup for later. Gotcha. So yeah, I'm sticking to my guns there, but yeah, you know what I mean. Either way, we should jump into this thing and have a second look, but very, very intriguing episode. I want to see where the story goes next now. We start with a small scene between Frieren and the old gang, kind of establishing something we already knew, that Flem's text, her grimoires or whatever, they're rarely actually hers, and there's a lot of forgeries about. Of course, Frieren will be the one to know. I think we can also imply from this conversation that they don't know that she was trained by Flem, right? Who is, and I'll get the correct wording here, yeah, the founder of humanity's magic is like a fairy tale herself. So, I mean, we've got a bunch of humans here, but also we have a dwarf, but, relative. It's different than an elf who live for fucking ages and persist and blah, 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 blah. The founder of humanity's magic is like a fairy tale herself, yet we've seen Frieren looking pretty similar to like she does now, interacting with her. So what happened there? Did the legend not get passed down? Do we even know that she existed anymore? How she looked? Any of these things? I'm probably the only one who remembers her face. But then nobody remarks on that, so I was querying if that was a little discussion to herself, if nobody else heard that. But maybe they did, it kind of looked like Himmel maybe heard it. Anyway, it's unclear, we'll find out in time. And then we get gag about Frieren getting out of bed in the morning, and there's a cute little part here where Fern does the mum thing, which again is a joke they like to do. They love a cartoony face, they love dropping the features of the face besides the eyes. Here's another two good examples, dropping the nose for effect, right? You can automatically tell what each character is thinking here, surprised, just doesn't care, doesn't know that this is special. Yeah, 28 years. 28 years, keeping an eye on 28 years, it's very important. 28 number, look at 28 number, very important. We're on Eng Road, which is located in the Northern Lands, which we've just progressed into. We help out this merchant, and this is a pretty small part of the episode. It's like about the statues and whatever. And this merchant guy down here is kind of like our main character of our little story here. We're trying to clear the road, basically. Fern's idea is that we clear the road so it's nice for everybody instead of just lifting old mate across. I think the implication here with the "you're selfish" Stark is that's probably what Fern said to Frieren, and then she's turning that back on him. Like, look at the face here. That face. Very Fern face into like a knowing smile. Pretty good. Really good facial animation there. We continue to do this thing where we'll just get pieces of flavor text and lore about the world that then spiral off into things later. So Northern Lands have been fighting demons here and there too. Thus, there may be some debris in the way in the wake of the fighting, right? This gets demons on the brain, that there's conflict between demons in the area, which spins off to our second half of the episode. Then we proceed with Japanese joke. She's calling him Stark Summer, which is extremely polite, pretty much. There's also some intonations in the way she speaks that I'm less qualified to talk about, but definitely they definitely sound in my ear like she's being extremely polite, right? And I've heard polite characters in anime a lot. It's a common trope. Honorifics and level of, respect in language is a commonly used anime trope, I guess. Well, it's a commonly used aspect of the Japanese language that then evolves into fiction made by Japanese people, is the correct way to say that. Because Japan is an anime land. Everyone needs to understand that, right? So yeah, Starku is what she's going with now, which is just Stark. Just call him Stark, no honorifics, and then basically says Hayaku, go faster, help me. Less polite than what she was speaking about before. Two extremes is, I guess, the joke. You could call me like Stark-kun or something. That would be a nice in-between. Again, there is a difference in age, so probably just the honorific-less name is a little bit too far. But yeah, just no Sama about it. He's not some fucking government official or something. Yeah, for right now, the joke between these two is that Fern is over his shit and that he whines a little bit sometimes. They're back and forth. There was less sparks this episode than last episode, I thought. I wasn't really feeling that way inclined about it. So I don't know if they're going to do the romantic thing. We'll see. We'll give it time. Let it settle. I guess the punchline of the scene, which I missed as well, is Fern going back to Stark Sama after everything as well. I'm happy that the show brought up a question that I had, which is basically, where are all the other elves? I mean, we saw an elf in the opening, I thought. He had pointy ears. It's pretty much an elf, I think. And I guess there's an interesting aspect as to why we theorize that there's not as many elves around. Elves may live a long time, but across the board we lack romantic feelings and reproductive instincts. Is there something to the short life of humanity that makes procreation, the prevalence of death, I guess, and makes the idea of procreation more attractive? For me, I think that's less the factor and more just like it's in our DNA, I think, right? Not for everybody, of course, but you know. Humanity has evolved through many phases to the level it is now for certain reasons, and, you know, what is evolution and what is, you know, Darwinism. Anyway, everything else in between, elves don't have such an instinct, and we're maybe talking about that based on the length of one's life, right? If Frieren's life goes, you know, for a very long time, almost ad infinitum, right? Then maybe she doesn't have such feelings. I don't know, she seems like a very aromantic character. I was definitely feeling some Himmel stuff. I don't know if she sees it, but I see it. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just a shiplord, I don't know. The last time Frieren met a fellow elf was more than 400 years ago. We're probably going to see that at some point. Maybe we're quietly going extinct. Maybe it's happening quicker than we thought. It's a really, like, chin-scratching episode. It's bringing up a lot of ideas about humanity and the writing of fiction and tropes and, I don't know, how I think the story's going to go. It's bringing up these ideas within me and taking them in directions that I think are pretty interesting. I don't know. I'm engaged. Either way, we get back to the village with the merchant. He explains that tonight is the Liberation Festival from when Himmel the hero and his gang defeated the demon that was over this area. This guy looks pretty fucking badass. He's like a dog devil snakeman or something. Tell you what, the one-off creature designs that they've had are pretty good too. I remember that Dark Souls one from last week. Pretty rad. And essentially this part of the story is all about will Frieren and Himmel and everything, will their I guess actions here be passed down forever, or 100 years, or 1,000 years, or what, basically, right? What's the level here? We've been doing this festival since at least, what is it, 80 years ago maybe? I don't know, I forget how long it's been. Will this continue for another 100 years? You could feasibly say yes. 1,000? Murkier. Passing into fairy tale, passing into legend. For some reason, for some event, people forget about it, and then more people forget about it, and then they die, and then they don't pass it on, and things get lost. That's it. Again, that's how history works. Humans love to make a fuss. They hold festivals for everything. I think maybe you're just the one that doesn't like to make a fuss, right? The same reason. You live forever. There's not that finite end to your life. You don't have... Imagine fitting, again, your entire lifetime of everything that you've experienced, Frieren, of the thousands of years or whatever, into a small portion of your life, into 1/100th, right? And experiencing 1/100th of the big swath of emotions you've ever felt within that one lifetime. That's what humanity's like. Of course they like to make a fuss about these kind of things. They only get to do it 80 times or whatever. Either way, talking about legacy and being remembered and the party here, we go to the flashback. We have some jokes about him being a pretty boy and wanting to see visages of himself. I want everybody to remember us, and I guess the biggest reason is so you won't be alone in the future. Aww. And we don't really elaborate on this very much. There's not a part where, she feels less alone because of this. And that part's very on the nose as well. We aren't fairy tales. We really existed. Making sure they're remembered, seeing the statues. And I guess the payoff to the so you're not alone, right? Is, Eisen, Heiter, and then pan to these four. Forget this guy, not important. But Eisen, Heiter, not reincarnations, but kinda. At least thematically. And they're along for the journey now and seeing all these statues, and she's not alone because of it. Something in that, maybe. I'm seeing that. Good gag here as well with, now that you mention it, you do kind of look like Frieren the Great or whatever. I guess Frieren never mentioned the destination to Stark as well, just says we're going to heaven. Now that sounds fun. Down for a ridiculous adventure, sure. And I guess the closed loop on that scene is what I was talking about, right? The will it be remembered for 1,000? I don't know. Well, let's get up out of here. The next day has passed, and there's still a flower crown on Himmel, the statue's head. And then, yeah, straight out of that, I immediately read this. I'm like, Graf Granite's domain. That sounds important. And yeah, it is a named character in this episode. That first skit only took like 9 minutes too, so again, what's been told to me is that potentially through this portion through to episode 10 is one arc, about potentially Aura. That would make sense to me. I don't know if that's like going fighting Aura or that's everything takes place in this town. I don't know. We're going to have to find that out, and we're going to have to find out what their overall resolution is to the whole demon idea, I guess. Anyway, we're into it very quickly. We notice that the town has a lot of guards out and about. Now that we see this shot here, very predatory, like something's watching them, tracking them along the distance. We go to a black. Frieren stops, realizes she's being watched, and immediately goes into attack phase. And she senses demons. Of course, she's probably sensed demons many times in her long life. And she's correct. Look at these demons. And I don't know if it's my anime instincts as well, but when I see pretty demon girl and pretty demon boy and prettier demon man, I just don't think that they're evil, right? I just think that they're misunderstood. Are we subverting that with these characters? Are we going to double back on it? Are these guys specifically evil and we can meet good demons? Every piece of evidence so far in this and the flashback suggests that they're all evil, but I don't believe in that. So, like, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird one. Another weird thing, too, is you could tell a lot by character design. And you know what they do with these demons? They make them not very expressive at all, right? They've always got basically this face. It's the emoji with like, the flat mouth, basically. Which makes it very hard to tell what they're actually thinking. I don't know. They're not very emotive, right? Like, put examples of various demons on screen, right? You can tell which ones are evil and which ones are good, right? You just can't. No such ability here to do the same thing. I find it intriguing. We'll continue. Either way, Frieren gets fucking tackled to the ground and almost arrested. We get a little indicator, the first indicator of the conflict between these two. I do want you dead, but I'm not foolish enough to openly attack you in this town, as you guys are peace envoys right now. The other thing that made me hesitant was that they're peace envoys, right? We haven't really seen demons yet. So I just thought the demons were just like bad guys that like couldn't talk and that we just kill. Like friggin' not orcs, but kind of like orcs. You know what I mean? Like Lord of the Rings Tolkien orcs that are just like unstoppable evil killing machine things. I thought they were like that. Now these guys can like speak, and saying peace envoy kind of alludes that you have some sort of government until you learn that they're maybe just like lying. I don't know, I can't figure it out yet. It's intriguing. Chin scratcher. It's a real chin scratcher. There's bloodlust in those cold, calculating eyes or whatever he said. Yeah, calm, cold eyes. I would say the same for you. Think about the child in the flashback. Wasn't there bloodlust in her cold, calm eyes? Yeah, Frieren looks at him like he's some kind of wild beast, as opposed to the human, which everyone else looks at him as, even if they do fear him. Demons are wild beasts who imitate human speech but can't be communicated with, right? Empathy. There's no empathy here. You seeing what I'm saying? Anyway. Well, yeah, we'll see where we land on this. So yeah, then Frieren gets put in prison. Fern's just calm. I don't know why. Maybe this has happened before for them. Either way, as always, with this kind of story, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Frieren? Stop being racist. But then we learn more, and I'm like, are they actually like, should they be racist? And I don't know. I'm gonna imagine no. Again, I've continued to say that. But I came into the room of the perspective of these two, like, what the fuck? Why did you do that? And I walked out of the room with the perspective of Frieren, which is like, oh, okay. And then we see stuff that these characters don't see with Graph or whatever, right? And then I'm like, oh, okay, I understand. I get it. We do the time joke again, but then we go into Vignettesville and go back through Frieren's memory on a similar encounter with a demon, I guess. First, we have some lore about the aura of Guillotine, who is the girl, one of the 7 sages of destruction who served the Demon King. She lost most of her followers after fighting us. Her whereabouts are currently unknown. She regained her power 28 years ago. I've talked about Himmel's death and the connection there. And there's been an ongoing war basically since then between her and this town. And with the guise of being peace envoys, they've allowed these demons to enter. Yes, Stark says what I said, right? They're capable of human speech. Surely the best option would be talking it out, right? They can't empathize with you, right? They can't be communicated with, as we've seen here. Again, the flashback we do here, and I'll talk about it when we get to it, it's muddy, right? And I'll talk about it. So the in here is, have you ever wondered why demons speak the same language as humans? Because they eat humans and figure that human language is a great way to get them to lower their guard. And here we see, very similar to the other designs of the demons, a face that is very hard to read. Let's talk about mob mentality, considering it's being alluded to in the visual language. We've been taught in fiction to not go with the mob. The mob is like fear-mongering. The town... Think about Beauty and the Beast, right? All those people getting... like buying into Gaston's lies and everything about the beast and the misunderstanding there, and that's what I've been trained to do with this situation, right? I've been trained to follow old mate that comes in with his daughter and gives her a second chance. That thing ate our daughter. Well, I don't have the full context here. Of course, you're emotionally related to the situation. You may have a different perspective than everybody else. Does that mean your perspective should overrule everything and we should just kill this child in revenge? As it turns out, probably maybe, yeah. Here's the It Hurts Okasan, or Mum, which we later learn is a word that she doesn't really even understand, but she just knows it lets humans, or makes humans lower their guard. Yeah, the village chief does the right thing morally for this story overall, right? And offers her refuge. Who says that she doesn't deserve a second chance? I said it hurts Mum. Of course she's looking for a parental figure. And another thing here, Himmel here says... it's capable of human speech. Why don't we see how it goes? Basically mirrors what Stark said, right? This is the first time think I've seen Himmel be proved incorrect in the context of the skit. Normally he's Mr. Perfect, right? Basically by character design as well. Just very interesting. We don't see Himmel be like wrong or miscalculate something like this. And then of course, trademark Frieren musical montage through here as we see the relationship between the family and the demon girl brewing. And the whole time, right? Okay, even this shot here, right? So cute little girl, butterfly, whatever, forget about her. She's got her eyes on the dad, right? I'm gonna kill him and stuff. I think you could see this is almost sinister. Look at this, it's all very nice, isn't it? All playing flowers together. And Himmel's like, oh yeah, did a good job. Look, they're like besties. Until Firehouse. Hello, Firehouse. Firehouse we also saw earlier in the episode with a swing set alluding to the child angle as well. So here's his dad. I didn't see that before. I thought he was just burning in the house. And even then I was giving her a second chance. I thought that this was a misunderstanding. I thought it was going to be that she saved her from the house fire or something and something else happened here. There was some, old family conflict or whatever. Her like actual parents came back and slaughtered this guy and thought some weird shit. Again, I trained my brain to think that she continued to be the victim. The mom line maybe even worked on me. And here comes the demon girl, right? She actually gets to speaking here, right? There it is again. Every day I felt your desire to kill me, right? Every single day. Then I was thinking maybe this desire manifested and reflected off her and made her demon out or whatever, maybe. I don't know. I continued to, make logic jumps to justify why she would be innocent here. And I don't know why. Again, I do know why. I've been trained to think why. I was even thinking this line here. I brought you a replacement for the daughter I ate. I thought, okay, she just doesn't understand. It's fine. Well, it's not fine, but she doesn't understand. Maybe she's just being sadistic here. I don't know. Anyway, and then we murder the demon girl, right, and save the village chief's daughter. But the line there is like, it seems I've made a mistake. Was the mistake an actual mistake? Like you actually thought that this would help the grieving mother? Or is it a mistake in that I've pushed myself too far and now I've been discovered and now I'm going to die? Goes for the mom line here, right? And Frieren just murders with impunity. The mom line again, like monsters, demons don't. There's no parental relationship there. They basically leave their young to live in solitude. You are solitary creatures by nature. You have no concept of family. But we saw a group of 3 together. Seemingly they've all grouped under Aura, the whatever. Isn't that like a weird found family thing? I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, why do you use the word mom? Because it stops you from killing us. A wonderful magical word. For them, words are a means of deceiving humans. Even now I'm making logical leaps as to why she might have said that, right? Which is like, well, were humans just killing them on sight immediately forever? If so, then they would be the bad guys and you would like to have a magic word to stop them from killing you. This is very complex. Very, very complex. And I'm continuing to be unsure how to feel about it. Flam the legendary mage classified, what was that? Demons as monsters that could imitate human speech. They're descended from monsters who cried for help to lure humans to certain areas. Flam said that, huh? Maybe you're carrying some of that from her, who made that distinction between them. Maybe that's not the actual truth. Maybe this is where our fairy tale idea comes into it. I don't know. And don't forget to bring me grimoires as she waves her hand or whatever. Again, Frieren acts like she's powerful, and I'm inclined to believe her, right? She's not scared about a jail cell. She's not scared about this guy coming to kill her at the end of the episode. She's just too powerful for that. Either way, we pan over to this guy, whose name I forgot, Lugia or something, right? He says that he recognizes Frieren from somewhere, which again is entirely possible. You're probably being built up to right-hand man to Aura or something, right? And yeah, wild beasts that can't be communicated with. Why does she know our stick? Why she's the only one here that could tell everybody and convince them and foil our plan, essentially. Yeah, she's the only one in this town that truly understands our nature. They speak not to understand us, but to deceive us. This town won't be around much longer. She understands their true nature here. We get an idea of the big plan here as well later in the episode, where it's like, okay, we're going to get them to lower the defense barrier and then they're basically going to invade. We don't really need to go over this scene in as much detail because it's essentially the same scene as the farm scene we saw before. It's a demon getting themselves into a precarious situation and then using one of these magical words, one of these magical, like family words, to get them out of a situation. To deceive them, right? I'm going to gain your trust until it's too late. Very sneaky-like. And I guess it implies that humans are inherently forgiveful and stuff. I don't know. Like, they're very empathetic. Like, okay, my son died to the demons, right? But it's also entirely possible that I killed his father, or we killed his father. We, humans. So we back down, right? If this is a legitimate look for peace, then let's grant it. Is he being naive? Potentially. But is he being idealistic? And is that good as well? Potentially. I guess where I fall on it is I don't think it's Frieren as a show's tone to be that cynical. I don't think. I think there's going to be some warm, fuzzy conclusion here, probably. Another great example here is contrast, right? See his face. See whatever his name is. See his face. Pan back here. You can't read it. You can't read what he's thinking here. Yeah, Graf Granite. Okay, we've got his name. And then, yeah, he says the father line, but it's a lie. He's lying to deceive you. No, Graf Granite. No, please stop. We're capable of a speech. We deserve a discussion. The swords are lowered. Everyone gets out of these fighting stances, even this guy whose stance is honestly ridiculous. They essentially walk out of the room and say, you guys are fucking suckers. So yeah, I don't know. Like, the only demons we've seen in the show thus far have been bad guys. I think. But what is the basis for that? Does the head rot at the top isn't an aura issue? I don't know. I do not know. What are we trying to say? We see this little flash here of the army, and then that looks very much like the girl that's in the opening, I think, maybe. Let's check. Does the girl in the opening have horns? Have I been imagining that? Nah, she doesn't. Hang on, this might be a different character. Hold up. I may have been bamboozled. Because you're definitely Elf. Hello, Elf. Yeah, this is like evil nega Frieren. Okay, that's a different character. We'll meet her later. Alright, scratch that. We don't know nothing about this aura lady. Because I was thinking based on this, like, she looks pretty fucking evil, right? Based on that shot there. Like, you're pretty evil. I don't know. I don't know whether to trust you. We should meet this aura person, see what they have to say. Anyway, the rest of the episode basically goes to do our plan. We need, you know, basically Frieren dead. We're going to send Boy to go kill Frieren. He's going to chop off guard head. And essentially both characters are trying to out-nonchalant each other here. We're out-no-emotion each other. Ending the episode, of course, with the line that she's stronger than Aura the Guillotine, who she has killed once before. With assistance, I must say, unless we get some confirmation otherwise. Yeah, I don't know. The other weird thing, right? Think about that demon girl when she was dying. There's no even like cry out like I'm dying, help me, please, blah 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 blah. Even like a monster would do, or like an animal or something like that, right? Would cry out when it's on its when life is ending, right? There's none of that with these demons as well. I don't know, I'm very confused and I want to know more, but also I'm not reacting to any more stuff today because I'm tired and I don't feel well. So yeah, we're going to need to pick this up next time and see what the deal is. I have reservations across this whole thing, but I'm leaving things open to see what the show wants to say, but I doubt that it's saying that racism is good. There, that's basically my opinion on the matter. But yeah, I guess in a post-Frieren, you know, prologue world, if this is the direction we're going, it's certainly fucking interesting, right? I thought I had Frieren as a show a little bit pinned down. I thought I had it a little bit more figured out than it seems I do. It seems like we're doing stuff a little bit more interesting than I thought we were, right? I didn't expect us to get this political this quickly. And be unexpected, right? I was thinking that this was a very by-the-book show. Potentially not. Potentially not from what we've seen so far, or I'm jumping at nothing and next episode it'll go back to being pretty conventional. I don't know. I do not know. And that is the beauty of this channel. But yeah, back next week, we'll be doing either 8, 9, 10, or just 8. It depends on everything else. We will see. Hopefully I'm not getting absolutely railed next week as I have been getting this week. And yeah, we'll discover all that then and there, but just some chill stuff to finish. So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord, join Discord. Love Discord, 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 Discord. And yeah, we'll be back next week for more Frieren Beyond Journey's End. And just signing off. Bye-bye. Cheerio. Everything else in between that I normally say. See you next week.